Okay, we're going to need SSH keys for our class on Wednesday. So I'm making this video so that you will know how to do this. Please, please do what I'm showing you now sometime before our class. Okay, SSH keys. These are the keys that are necessary for Git and GitHub to communicate. And once you get them set up, everything is a lot easier. Okay. So first, start up R. Doesn't matter where it is because we're not storing anything. So when R comes up, you can look at R and see if R knows anything about your SSH keys. And to do that, okay. And to do that, you go Tools, Global Options, then under Git SVN, you'll see here it says here's your public key. You can view the public key. There it is. We're going to come back to this because I'm going to eliminate this in just a few seconds. So this is one place to look for your public key. The other place to look for your public key is where it is stored on your computer. In all cases, the public key is in your home directory. For Windows 10 users, that is /users/ whatever your name is. On Linux and on Macintosh, open up a terminal window and simply do this. Say cd tilde and hit return, and it'll go to your home directory. Okay. Now you want to look for your SSH key. So I'm going to look for the directory. I'm going to look for directories with a dot in front of them. So this says, find the directories. I want the long listing, only directories. Comes up, you can see everything here has dots in front of it. We want to look at the .ssh. So I go in at .ssh, get a listing of the directories. There shouldn't be much here. This is the key. This is the public key. This is known host that gets built up over time. So this is where my keys are. In GitHub, if I go to my GitHub, click on your account, go to settings, go down to SSH and GPG keys, click on it, and you will see if there are keys registered for you, they're here. You can see in my case, I've got one for my Linux machine, and I have one for my Win 10 machine. All right, now I'm going to reestablish my Win 10 key, and so I'm going to delete the key here. All right, so I've deleted it. It's warned me that that was probably not such a great idea, but that's all right. So now I'm going to go back to R. No, actually, sorry. I'm going to go back to my directory. You can see that my key is still here, so I'm going to get rid of these two. And they're gone. All right. Now I'm going to go to R again. And you can see this still thinks it has a public key, but when I go say view the public key, it says I can't find it. All right. So now we're going to make a new one. So all I have to do to make a key from R is to say create RSA key. So it'll ask you if you want to set up a passphrase. I never do. Up to you. Okay, there's the public key with its fingerprint. Okay, so now I've got my key. Just to make sure, I view the public key. I say Control C to copy it. So now I've copied the public key, and I'm going to go back over to GitHub. Same thing. I'm over here where the keys are. I'm going to say New SSH key. It brings up a window. This is where I'm going to put my new public key. I'm going to give it a title so I know what it is. In this case, I'll conveniently use the title I just was using, and I add the key. Did that work? Add the key. Okay. So there's the key that's added, and now let's test it out. So now I'm going to go over to. I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to say make a new repository. We'll call this test repo. When you make your repository, be sure that you add a README file, which we're going to use. And also, just out of habit, because you're going back to RStudio, be sure you put in a .gitignore file. When it does that, it's going to ask you for which .ignore file you want. This is very convenient for you because now you don't have to think about what's, at least initially, what's in there. You're going to go with the one that says R. So you just use this little pull down, click on R. Now it's going to let you make your repository. I make the repository. And here's the repository with the README file. And I'm going to edit the README file, and I'm going to create some text. So this is a line of text entered from GitHub. And now I want to save it. But here in GitHub, save and commit are the same things, at least as far as this is concerned. So I say commit the changes. Okay. And now, see, I'm up here. I want to go over to code. Here in code, it shows me this little drop down. This is the address for my test repo. And you can see testrepo.git. So I'm going to press on this little thing where it says the thing. It says it has copied that to my test repo address to my clipboard. Now I'm going to go back over to R. Get out of this. I'm over here in R. I'm going to say I want to create a project. I'm going to create a project. I'm going to use version control to make this project. Version control, git. Now I'm going to copy the git, the test repo address here into the repository URL, which is where it belongs. And you can see that it put the URL in here, and then it stripped off the name of the repository and put it in the project directory name. So that'll be the name of the project directory. And now I've got to figure out where I'm going to put that. I want to make it in parallel with these, part of this same directory. So I'm going to go up here one level to the directory. It says classes, that's fine. Now I'm going to create the project. And it's going to switch me into the project. Let me take a second. There we go. Start it up. and it shows me my files. So here's my old README file. You remember that? Just a few seconds ago. And here it is. Here's the README file. This is a line of text entered from GitHub. All right. Now go in here and enter another line of text. This is another line of text from my laptop. Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm going to click on this thing over here, save it. Then I'm going to go over here to Git. Remember when I did this, when I set this, this project up, Git was already there. You can see that. Well, you can't see it here. Sorry. I'll go back and show you in a second. Go to Git. There it is. I'm going to update it. So I put this into the, I put the modified, the edited README file. I've taken it and put it into the staging area. So it's staged. And then here's the test repo. I'm going to add that. And it's staged and I'm ready to commit. Here I click on commit. It works just like it did the other day when we were looking at Git Bash, but now it's in R and a lot of it is a little more automatic. It's important still to put your commit message. It won't commit without it. So you have to put a message. This is my first local machine commit. I commit it. It shows me that I've committed. It shows me that I'm on the master branch. It shows me that I've changed 2 files, and I'm ready to go. So now I say close, and now I'm going to push this up to GitHub. I push it up to GitHub. Okay, it appears that that's working, and you can see now that the commit has been cleared out. I go over here. If I wanted to make absolutely sure that the connection between Git and GitHub were working, I could open up a shell, which not surprisingly looks just like a Git Bash window, and I could say SSH dash capital T, and then git at github.com, and when I enter that, it says you've authenticated. Okay, so now I have behavior that looks like it's working. I've tested the connection. It looks like it's working there. I close out my shell. I go back up to my GitHub. Now, you don't see that line of text yet, but you will as soon as I refresh the site. There's another line of code from text on my on my laptop. I guess I didn't spell it right. And I can add one more just to make sure. Okay, this is my last line of text. And again, I commit it. That's all I have to do. I can get out of this. I can go back to R. And now I'm going to pull it. So I'm going to use this down arrow. Because I'm under the Git tab, that down arrow is there. I pull it. It pulls it down. And my third line of text magically appears. I'm connected. Please make sure you can do this. If you have any trouble, give me a shout.